G'day peoples, and welcome back to Dodgy's Garage, where I have no idea what I'm doing as usual. Today, the V-Dub Dubrod. We are going to be working on this. There's a car show next week and about 2 k's from here, and I want to get this thing up and running. So what I've done so far, I've got all some new bits and stuff. We're trying to work out why it wasn't running, and we thought, oh, it might be a fuel blockage. And I got the forklift and lifted the front end up, and all the fuel pissed out the rear. It just literally flowed straight out, so no blockage. So oh, maybe it's a fuel pump, because it started and kind of started and then crapped itself and wouldn't start again. Sounds like a backfiring. And we thought, oh, fuel pump. So I bought a brand new fuel pump, and I don't think that's a problem. So yeah, they're quite easy. So I decided instead to finally put the electronic dizzy in. Nice empty electronic dizzy. There's a little collar, like literally that. Oh, hang on, sorry, upside down. That bolts down to the block, and then, well, you kind of hold it in with this. Well, this little bolt is seized, and no matter what I did, it would not come out. Ended up, the bolt was bent. This whole thing was bent up like a friggin' like that, but upwards. Don't know how or why. I ended up cutting the bolt off, this end of the bolt off, but this bit still would not come out. We levered it and hammered it and put a bloody what's name through there to push it out and unscrew it. It's now rounded off. It is seized in there. It will not come out unless I pull and turn this right over. But in doing that, the whole thing bends. Can't really see. This whole ear tab just bends up and down and wobbles, and I didn't want that to snap off all across there. So, and now it's not even round. Banged it and belted it and whatever else. That is not even round anymore. So that's not even going to fit around. I said, oh, screw this. I'll just get another one. Turns out you can just buy them for $10. Chromed. Unreal. It's like I spent way too long on that. And I could have just bought one for $10. Unbelievable. That's an empty part as well. But, yeah, there's the number if anyone's interested. Distributor clamp. $10, and it's chrome. So why did I spend all my time on that stupid thing? And I bought it from the same guy, from Matt at Flat 4 Performance in Rockingham, as I got the fuel pump. So I got that, and then while I was there, I decided, I mean, you can't tell, oh yeah, there's oil. And there's maybe a little drop there, but that's the main culprit, is that oil. So I'm thinking, oh, rocker cover gaskets. So I bought 2 rocker cover gaskets, $4 each. So I bought 2 of them, changed the rocker cover gaskets. While I was there, I thought, well, if I'm going to be changing on that, oh great, 4 new spark plugs. Why not? Put the spark plugs in there, and it kind of I've replaced everything. And with this new dizzy, as you see with the old dizzy, it's fairly basic. Well, this new one has a vacuum advanced. It's got all electronic stuff. Woohoo! It's got a vacuum advanced. Well, as you can see, that one doesn't. So it's like, oh, okay. Where do I plug that into? So I bought, you can only buy a meter, a vacuum tubing. And it turns out right here on the end of the carby, the little doodle, I guess there's nowhere else I really can put it, but I reckon the carby is probably the best bit. So put a vacuum line down to it, and that's it. So I've got a fair bit to do. I was supposed to do it yesterday, and as usual, CBF. Came here, looked around, did something, and then I went, I'm too tired, so I went home. So, it's Sunday, and I've got to get it done today if I can. So I figured get it all done, because originally I was coming back from Custom Cars and Coffee over at the Motorplex, which is 2 k's that way, and he just started going really rough and everything else. And it turned out the original coil pack I had, which was like a Holden LS type thing on the wall, had shit itself and had basically overstimulated, overpowered, what do you call it? I forgot now. Too much electricity, and burnt everything. The points and bloody whatever else. So I've got a factory coil, which works with my new Dizzy. So factory coil in the factory position too, which was great because I found bolts that actually fit. I should say that's a new alternator, not a generator, so that's brand new. So the only thing I haven't replaced is actually the carby and the air filter, but it looks cool. It needs a wash though. That's just so dirty. So basically, I'm going to replace everything in line. So I've got new leads somewhere. Oh, here we go. Brand new leads. 3Ws, so brand new leads. So I might put those on too. So if it doesn't start after all this, I'm freaking burning it. Because there's nothing left. There is literally nothing left for me to do. Except set the valves, maybe. I don't know, valve tap clearance. But let's get it running first. So, I'm going to get into it and try not to make it too long. Alright. Back. That was an absolute bitch to put in because it's such a tight fit. It's really, really tight. Because around the, I can't see, the shaft there's a rubber seal, and I've cut myself so yeah, it's really, really tight to get this in. It took me ages to push it in. I'm not sure if it's actually clocked the right way either, because there's only a couple of ways you can put this because of the bloody what's the name, because I push this around, so this electronic unit sits at the front. This is jammed up against the exhaust, which means I can't put the vacuum hose on it. So I'll put it this way, and I'm hoping that's the right way, because otherwise, yeah, I can't put the vacuum hose over that way, because literally, you can see that white mark literally hits up against there. New leads, as you can see, nice bright blue leads and plugs. Now, I've noticed, I've never actually replaced a Beetle plug, even though I've had a couple. Those little caps, the ends of the, what's the names? You unscrew them, they don't use them. Because, if I can see down the guts, so there's a little spring in there. And these actually just sit in there, and that's it. They're a bit wobbly, not as tight a fit as the other version. Well, with the little oh shoot, now I've dropped them. With the little caps on them, so they squeeze over. But yeah, so they just push in and then pull out. So literally, all those little threads. And there's that little spring there. And he gets caught on them. So I was trying to put the other one in. I'm thinking, how does this bloody go in? And I took it apart again and checked it and went, oh yeah, it doesn't have the, you unscrew the little top there and just push it in. These don't look too bad. If I grab them all, they're a little bit black, but all the gaps are pretty good. That one's a little bit open, but all the gaps are pretty good. They're not chewed up, but you never know. You never know if the porcelain's gone and something's gone wrong inside, and maybe that's why. But I figured if I'm going to replace everything, I mean, that one's a bit yucky, isn't it? Or is that one's, I can't even remember where I got them out of, which side I got them out of now, because there's two that are really good and two that are, oh, I think I did that just dropping it. Two that are blacked up. Should have took more note of what you came for. Yeah, so that little spring is what the doodah dad is. The rubber does bloody nothing really. So they're sitting on there, a bit loose. I mean, when you look at it, they're loose as. But that's the way they stick. As long as it's on the what's the name, I guess it's fine. Does not start though. All that does not start because I've put the ground onto the nut on the housing. I don't know if this is actually a ground because it's not actually tied to anything except the block, and the block's rubber mounted, so maybe that is not actually a good ground. You wouldn't believe it, there's no bloody drill handy here. It's one of those clip-on hex key things where you got to add the thing, and it's all set up for their shit. So I was going to drill into the wall fiberglass firewall, just there, or maybe even over there was a bit of paint, and screw. Where is it? Just put a screw in, like a big ass freaking wood screw, self tapper. I reckon that should work into the actual metal. Fortunately, I don't have a drill here. I'm going to have to get a drill. But she wrote turns. What's the name? But I just don't know if this is clocked correctly. The Dizzy only goes one way. It's got a key system. I think I showed you guys before. There's only one way it can go in because it's got that sort of system in a V-dub, and that's slightly off center. You can see it's not exactly center, it's off center. So it literally can only go in one way. It's just trying to, because where this sits in relation to the old Dizzy or cap, was actually like this. So it's like 90 degrees around the other way because it clips over on that side, not where they are on this side here. Usually they clip just under here. These don't. They clip over the back here, so that's 90 degrees. Try to do it as best as I could, but it's not even kicking, it's not even farting or mistime, it's not actually firing up at all. Now, if it was missing, then I'd say, oh yeah, I've got to do that, but it's not firing up at all, so I'm thinking that ground's probably not actually a ground. You'd think, but that's all I'm thinking of at the moment, is that's not going to work. But all the leads are on, the spark plugs are in, Dizzy's in, it's hooked up, vacuum advance is on, and it leads just into that carby there, which I think's the right way. The positive for this, there's no instructions in the box, you have to Google it, but it tells you positive from the positive of the coil, which it is, and then ground the negative. I mean, that's it. So I'm thinking that ground is not, that's not actually grounded. Well, it's not a proper ground because the tinware is not actually bolted. I mean, I think it'd be grounded, hence why I've already done it. But the fact that it doesn't work, nothing works, is me thinking maybe that's not a right ground. So now that I've done all this, I haven't put the rocker covers on yet because I'm still trying to get this sorted out. If it kicks over, then I'll lift it up, put the rocker cover gaskets on. At the moment, I just want to try and sort this. So let me try and deal something with this. Okay, so I've changed and drilled a hole and tapped it, and self-tapper, and there's the ground for the thingo. That's a positive onto the positive of the coil, which is what it says. Still doesn't work. I don't know. I'm stuffed. I don't know what's going on. There is fuel coming through. I can smell it. In fact, I think that is weeping. I don't know if that can come. That line looks like it's weeping, so I'm going to have to trim that off. Put it down because that might have cut into it. I don't know. She's weeping. Well, there is fuel. So definitely fuel. Yeah, it's definitely fuel. Smell the friggin' fuel. Does that go? Does it go in there? Which way does it go? So what's going on here? Anyway, yeah, it's not kicking over. I do not know what the problem is. I need test probes and stuff, which I don't have. I mean, this might be completely out as well. Actually, I might change those around and just see. And nothing. Alright, so what have I done here? Why does that keep falling off? I have no idea. I do not know. Now the button, the rotor button can only go on one way, and that can only go on one way. But it'd be at least coughing and farting if it was on wrong. But I am not getting a spark at all. So I don't know what the joke is here. I don't know what the problem is, why it's not. I should have something that should do something. Even if it backfires and carries on, it's got to be something. But it's nothing at the moment. It just turns over and that's it. No spark, no nothing. So I'm going to have to give up because it's already 4 hours later. Because I rode my bike home to grab the drill because there's none here. Drill a hole, tap that, look at YouTube, blah 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 blah. So I can't figure it out. Yeah, figure it out sometime during the week and see if I can work it out and get some test probes and find out what I'm doing wrong, because everything's in, everything's the way it should be, it's all plumbed up and nothing. So I don't know. So I'm just gonna have to leave it. Unfortunately, it's probably 4:30 on a Sunday afternoon and I've had enough. I'm gonna get me a kebab for dinner, I think. But I've put everything in and it's, so I don't know. Anyway, we'll leave it there. Hopefully I can get done, figured out this week. We'll see if I continue this or if I just leave it off here. If I actually get it running, I'll figure it out rather than make a whole new video. Anyway, see how we go there. Okay, hooroo. Alright, it's a few days later and it's run. So, new fuel pump, new electronic dizzy, of course, newish, but yeah. Rewired it so it's all where it should be, properly in there. Trying to get these little, what's name clips? Impossible, J-Car have them. New leads, new plugs, a lot of stuff around trying to find top center and where it rotates and wherever else it's supposed to sit. We found out it wasn't going down enough and the dizzy wasn't actually spinning properly, so we found it, pushed it down, and now if I go and do the thingy with the thingy and turn my alarm on, she runs. It runs. Idle might need to be changed a bit. That belt's still a bit loose. I don't know what I can do about that. There's no shims in it at all, so it's as tight as it can be. But that jangle is the exhaust, so not to worry about that. But it now runs. Runs fine. After all that stuffing around, trying to find what works, what doesn't work. The firing order, checking where the plugs are. Yes. So basically all I got to do now is just put new rocker cover gaskets on it, because she still leaks, and she's done. Oh, it's taken us 3 days to try and get this done. 3 days? 2 days after work, because there's no work, so I've been spending my time on this, and finally, so there we go, it runs. So we'll see what happens at the show, if I can just get it to make it run a bit better, and what else I'm going to do with it. So, finished. It's done. So I'm happy. Alright, cheers for that. Finally good end for it. Click like, share, subscribe, comment, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, we'll see how we go. All right, cheers for that, and I'll see you on the next episode of Dodgy's Garage.